Howdy, yogis. Inhale, take the arms up, reach towards the sky, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward to Uttanasana. Extend the spine nice and long, and then step back into downward facing dog. Rooting down into your base of your fingers and your fingertips. Lengthen the sides of your waist and push your hips back. Breathe. Reach your right leg up towards the sky behind you. Keep the inside lifting up and then step the foot forward up between your hands, back knee onto the floor. Open up your heart. Breathe. And now shift your hips back over your back knee and come to Ardha Hanumanasana, the runner's lunge. And then coming into the forward lunge and then the runner's lunge. Stretching the spine, coming back into the lunge, runner's lunge. And then lift the back knee up and then go into plank pose. Knees to the floor, chest to the floor. Come up to the little cobra pose. Bring the forehead down. Come up to the little cobra pose again. Take your hands off the floor, hands to the floor. Lift up one more time. Little cobra pose, hands off the floor, then press back into the child's pose. As you press back into the child's pose, take a couple of breaths here. Breathe, lengthen the spine. And then you're going to come up onto your hands and your knees, tuck your toes, exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Breathe. Now reach your left leg up towards the sky, keeping the pinky toe towards the floor. Step the foot forward up between your hands, back knee onto the floor, and we're going to do that little vinyasa we do. Laying, going into the lunge, and then into the runner's lunge to stretch Ardha Hanumanasana. Going back into that, just nice and easy back and forth. 3 times in total. Don't forget your breath. Find more length in the side waist. Tuck your back toes, lift the knee off the floor, go into plank pose all the way down to the floor. Come up to the little cobra pose. And then we work our way into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Again, it's about lengthening the spine, belly button away from the floor. Reaching the right leg up towards the sky again. Step the right foot on the outside of the right hand, back knee onto the floor. Take your right hand to mid-thigh and then push the thigh away to rotate your right shoulder up towards the ceiling. Take your right hand behind your right ear and then the right elbow to the floor on the exhale. Elbow to the ceiling on the inhale, elbow to the floor on the exhale. Then do that just a couple more times. And then we reach the hand up towards the ceiling, lift the back knee off the floor, come into Pardavita Parshvavkonasana, and then we inhale the hands to the floor. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Lift the inside of your left leg up towards the sky. As you're going to reach it up nice and tall, keep the pinky toe towards the floor, and then step that foot forward up between your hands. On the outside your hands, back knee down to the floor. And then you're going to take your left hand to that left mid-thigh, push the thigh away, rotate the left shoulder up, take the left hand behind your ear, then 5 times. Elbow down on the exhale, elbow up on the inhale, working your thoracic spine. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale up, exhale down. After the 5th one, reach the hand up towards the ceiling, tuck the back toes, feel your left hip crease moving back and rotate in the thoracic spine, hands to the floor, step back in the plank pose, exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Open up your chest, push the floor away, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take 5 breaths here. Feel the lengthening in the size of your waist. Your hip creases are moving away from your armpits as you firm the arms in towards each other. Get a more length in the spine. Right leg up towards the sky behind you. Right foot on the outside of the right hand. Left foot on the outside of the left hand. Extend the spine forward. And then we exhale into a wide-legged Uttanasana. Holding onto your elbows. Let your elbows pull you towards the floor as you shift some of the weight into the balls of your feet and lift your hips up. Then we take both hands to your right foot. And then we rotate over towards the right. And we do the same thing over towards the left. But keep the spine long. And then we bend the elbow forward towards the floor to fold forward. And then both hands to the floor. Stretch your heart forward. And then we come into Malasana, into the squat pose. So working on some ankle mobility here. Just move around into the squat. Taking your time, just nice and easy. And just sit here. Breathe. And then we have the arm on the inside of the right leg. Take your left hand behind your left ear. And then you take your left hand to your right ankle. Then you do the same to the opposite side. Just a little different stretch here. Keep moving the inner thighs back as the inner thighs are lifting up. And then we fold forward into a wide-legged Uttanasana. Extend the spine nice and long and step back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathe. 5 breaths here. Belly button towards the spine. And then we move your right hand about halfway in the center of your mat, and we come into Vashisthasana. And extend the arm over your head, palm down to the floor. Keep flexing both feet to get that nice stretch on the side of the body. Then we go over to the other side. After we take a downward facing dog, a palate cleansing downward facing dog, Vashisthasana again, side plank pose. Rotate the top arm in your shoulder socket and really move the bottom hip into the top hip to stretch the size of your waist. And then palms down to the floor, back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Right leg up to the sky behind you, right foot forward up between your hands, back knee onto the floor. And then press your hands into that front thigh to lift the armpits up. Then your right thumb into your right hip crease. Extend the left arm up toward the ceiling. And on your exhale, the left arm on the outside of the right thigh. And then you tuck your back toes. Hug the outer hips in. And then reach your right arm over your head as the palm is towards the floor as we come into Parivrtta Parshvakonasana. And on your inhale, hands to the floor. Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Left heel to the sky behind you. Left foot up between your hands. Good. Back knee to the floor. Bring your hands to the front thigh to find space between your hips and your armpits. Left thumb into your left hip crease. Reach the right arm up. And on your exhale, take the right arm on the outside of your left thigh. Good. Tuck the back toes. Push the heel away from the midline so that we can come into Parivrtta Parshvakonasana. And on your inhale, hands to the floor again. Plank pose. Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathe. Slowly lower your knees down to the floor. Cross your shins and sit back over your heels. And then we're going to move towards the center of your mat. Just hold on to your knees. Move the back body into the front body. And then we slowly lower the upper body down. And then your legs one at a time as we begin to release the outer body. Release the inner body. Allow yourself to melt beneath the surface of the floor as we surrender into Shavasana. Take as long as you like into Shavasana. Allow your body to just melt, to dissolve. Release your day. And when you're ready to come out of Shavasana, just wiggle your fingers and your toes Slowly inhale your knees into your chest. Extend the right arm over your head. Roll over until your right side into a fetal position. Take a couple of breaths here. Breathe into the back body. Feel the back body expanding, keeping your chin towards your chest. And then you slowly come to a comfortable seated position. Take a couple of breaths here. Sit as long as you like. And when you're finished, join the palms to touch in front of your heart. And then we just bow forth, maybe chant a Om before Namaste. Giving thanks to yourself for this warm-up and waking up and starting your day. Om Shanti. Ciao.